Hey, Tears, how you doing? Today we're going to take a look at a distribution that has no desktop environment. Really, it's actually a window manager. Although it'll look and feel like it to a degree. Uh, have you ever been wanting to try a window manager? Or you've been using Linux for a long time and you've pretty much tried every desktop environment there is out there, and they're kind of leaving you with a little bit of lackluster. You've already customized KDE as much as you can, or GNOME as much as you can, or XFCE or LXQT or whichever. And you thought maybe I'll try a Windows manager because that seems a little bit more challenging, as most of them you do a lot of configuration from either the bar or to drawing wallpapers or whichever it is. You got to customize a lot and do a lot of editing and configuring in the config files to get them to do what you want them to do. Well, today we're going to take a look at one that comes pretty much so configured out of the box, so it's safe to play with. You already have a look and feel like you're set up, with your desktop environment, but you can play with it a little bit. And it's Ubuntu based, so there's a lot of people out there that are not Arch users or whatever that are Ubuntu based. This is a great jumping point for you guys. It's i3 window manager, but it is actually very nice. It's very well put together. It's called Regolith 2.0. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that today. And here we are. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to put in my password, and I'm going to log in. It uses the Light DM Manager. This is in my virtual machine, which is been given 4 gigs of RAM and 4 cores of my processor. So I'm kind of doing this to show how functional it is on low resources, system resources. And so when you log in, this is what it looks like. You just get a wallpaper and you get a bar. The bar can either be at the top or at the bottom, as with most other Linuxes. You can definitely move your bars around. That's one of the things that's nice. And in your bar, on the left-hand side, you usually have, and you can have up to 9 desktops. So I can go like, watch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And to select them, you hit the mod key, which is known as the Windows key, and the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 for whichever desktop you want to go through. Now, if you open an application, like in this instance, to open Firefox for this i3 derivative, the key bindings that they set is the Shift, Windows key, the mod key, Shift, and Enter will open up Firefox. And so that's on desktop number 1. Now, if I want to do desktop number 2, I hit 2. See, it changed to desktop 2 in the bottom left-hand corner. And let's go ahead and open up a terminal because, sometimes you need to have a terminal. And to do that, you hit the mod key, aka the window key, and enter. And that will open up your terminal. Now, notice that everything opens up full screen. That's because a window manager is either tiling or dynamic or stacked, or you can do different layouts for your tiling, for your managers. This one is a tiling window manager. So what, like if I open up Firefox here as well, it opens up next to it. It splits the screen in half. Now say I open up another terminal. See, it splits it again. Now you can change direction usually by hitting the V. See how the line turned blue at the bottom? That's for vertical tiling. So now if I open up another terminal, see, it opened it up at the bottom. Now if I want to change the tiling again to horizontal, then I hit the window and H. And now if I open up another terminal, it opened it up horizontally. And now to close windows, you hit the Shift, window key, and Q. And that closes out the window that's focused. Now, let's open up terminal here, and then we're going to open up Firefox as well. Oh, shoot. I hit Shift and Window and F, and it changed it from full screen to a floating window. That's another thing that you can do as well if you want to do floating. So I'm going to hit and go back to full screen. I'm going to hit this and open up Firefox. Okay. And now they're both together. So now if you notice, Firefox is the focus window, and see how the terminal has a white border around it? That lets you know that that's now the focus window. And to focus with it, you can click on it. Simply click on it, and it'll change the focus. Also, you can hit window and your arrow keys, the mod key and the arrow keys, in order to switch in between them. Now, that is basically a brief synopsis of how you can navigate around in a window manager. So we're going to go ahead and close these. And as I've already said, we're going to go to desktop 1 where we have Firefox. We're going to go to Regolith Linux, and we're going to take a look at their page. So this is the page that you're met with, okay? It's the old 1.6. Now, Regolith 2.0 has been released. When you click on it, it says it has moved to this new website for the 2.0 release. So you click on it, and it takes you to their regulardesktop.com, which is the 2.0. Now, here's their about. What's really, really nice about these people is that they've put together a very nice documentation here on the left-hand side here. Using Regolith, the first launch, basic usage, configuration. They got a bunch of how-tos if you look down here, which is wonderful. For somebody who is starting out in a window manager, this is actually awesome. I use i3 myself. I love i3. I don't know. I've tried Xmonad, I've tried BSPWM, I've tried different other window managers, and for some reason, i3 just connects with me. It's pretty cool. Now, you got the how-to section here, and then reference section. Now, reference section is very nice because this is where you can find your key bindings. These are the key bindings that you use to do different things within this window manager that they have already set up. From logging out for your sessions, for logging out, which is window escape, to the win key, the mod key actually is what we term it, is the mod key, but I keep saying the window key because a lot of people aren't used to it. If you're considered, if you've been in a window manager, then you've got your stuff down. But there's many that have not. So I refer to the mod key as the window key. So you press your mod key, aka the window key, escape to lock your screen. To log out, it's the mod key, shift and E, which will give you this. I'll go ahead and do it, and it gives you this where you can lock screen, cancel, or log out. I'm going to hit cancel. So those are using of key bindings. To modify your Wi-Fi settings is the window W. Now, these are not, I will tell you right now, these bindings, these key bindings are ones that they have set themselves. Regolith developers have. These are not the standard i3 window bindings or key bindings. So my warning to you is that should you use this and say, I like this, but I want to configure my own i3 and download i3 and install i3 through either Manjaro or Arch Linux or whichever one, or even Ubuntu, and just download the i3 desktop environment without any pre-configuration like these people have put into it. You're going to have literally vanilla i3 where you're going to have different key bindings, and you can find those as well. You can Google them, or you can go into a config file in it, and it will tell you where the key bindings are. Most of them usually the Manjaro, if you download the Manjaro i3, it will actually have Conky that'll tell you where your key bindings are, and it's pretty much so pre-configured like this one as well, with a bunch of their shortcuts and or key bindings and stuff that are added, but very minimalistic on that are not the i3 standard ones. i3 doesn't come with a boatload of key bindings in it. So that's something to note. All these are the ones that are pre-configured by these people. So, and then what's nice is this tells you where all your config files are. So these are the files that you'll be editing through your text editor, whether it is Nano, Kate, Vim, whatever you want to put on, or gedit, I think is the one that comes with this one. Yeah, it is gedit that comes with this one. These are the ones that you'll be editing. These are the files where you can go and find them. The default config that it runs through in the box is right here. I will tell you that the Regolith 2, the i3 config, did not come in. I had to actually copy it from the Etsy location to the .config file location, and then I was able to modify it or whatever I need to, which I didn't modify. I just noticed that it wasn't there. And a lot of times in most other i3 configurations, it isn't there either. It'll just generate the standard i3 config file. So anyhow, there's there. And then also it uses to do a lot of the GTK rendering and stuff. It uses the X resources file. So you can edit that as well to customize some of your desktop environment. And that's not something you would normally do in your standard i3 config because, well, yeah, you would. Sorry, you would do that as well because it does use the X resources. But you can do like the LX appearances tool and that kind of stuff, and use that to modify. And I'm sure you could do that with this too. Is just go to the command line and install whatever it is that you need through there. So you can do that as well. So this is great resource to tell you right here, what does what, all the different, things that you can customize in here as well, because you can definitely work on all this optional XSource resource keys. So I mean, it's chock full. It's very nice. I'm really glad I discovered this because there's a lot of people out there that just don't like Arch, and this is a great viable beginner starting point to a window manager because it's completely already set up for you and give you the sense of how to use one. Because the only other ones that come out really, really, really nice that are completely set up to me that I started with was Manjaro i3. That's their webpage on how to on their documentation, which is fantastic because that's the thing about a lot of these Linux distros. They either have great documentation or pretty much so they're void of any, and you have to figure things out through a bunch of Google searches and Reddits and all this kind of stuff. But this one provides it right on its webpage. It's very nice. Productivity first. Regolith runs i3, a popular, fast, and configurable tiling window manager, which is great for fast, key-driven workflows. Regolith integrates i3 and other desktop components such as i3 bar. So this is the i3 status bar, not polybar, which you have several different bars. You've got i3 status bar, you've got polybar, you've got bumblebee bar. I mean, there's lots of them. You can Google them. Rofication, which is Rofi, GNOME flashback, and Ilia to provide a complete desktop interface. The GNOME system management, providing a GNOME session with GNOME flashback, Regolith sidesteps much of the complexity of the typical GNOME shell. So that's what allows you to be able to customize, because typically you can't customize a lot of GNOME without using, tweaks and stuff like that. So the GNOME shell-based environment while providing simple and consistent system management capabilities. Regolith 2.1. It's based on Ubuntu 22.04. This is if you're on an Ubuntu system and you want to install it through your apt, you can do it this way. Just follow these steps right here to install it, and it will download and install the Regolith desktop or the i3 window manager, the Regolith i3 window manager. It also tells you right here that it installs reasonable minimal configuration that will work on most hardware. To add additional packages for a richer, more functional environment, you can you click right here for recommended packages for new users, which is what I recommend, especially this one, because this one here, this sudo, and we'll take a look at it later in a little bit, the sudo apt install Regolith look. Now, that is pretty awesome. That is basically a customizer allowing you to do global theme changes, theming on the desktop or the window manager. So it's pretty cool. It already comes when you download it. It'll install a few already made ones, and so I think it's like 9 or 6, anywhere between 6 and 10 already pre-made ones that are in there, and they're actually pretty nice. I tested them and they look very nice. So you can use that. Also, status indicators, you can use this to download the status indicators of things like, which are right here in the bottom of the i3 status bar. They're AK in polybar, they're referred to as modules. Here they're referred to as indicators. In Bumblebee, I think they're referred to as modules as well. And so if you want to do a battery status indicator, you put this one on. This is not a laptop, so it won't have it. Also for compositors, you can choose from these compositors as well. And for wallpaper, this is where the wallpaper files can be found at. In how to set wallpaper through a command line. Although if you go, and we'll go ahead and close out of this, if you to launch your Rofi application launcher, you simply hit the window or the mod key and space, and here you go. This is your Rofi. This is what Rofi looks like. Of course, this is a modified one. Normally, Rofi looks a little bit more plainer and just text file, no real icons in it. It's kind of very, very basic, but this has got the nice icons because this is, of course, has been modified. So, like if you hit your settings here, these top ones right here are ones that are kind of settings, quick ones and stuff. And then down here, I mean, you can even get into your PyCom editor. You can do reboot, Regolith settings, different stuff, software for adding software, which I believe is a Snap store because this is Ubuntu. Just different things. It says, you can see there's not a whole lot installed on here. I just pretty much went down to the bottom of it. So what we'll do is we're going to take a look at settings first. So we go into settings, and here is where you can you can see there's background right here. It's only got one wallpaper, but you could add a picture over here in the top right hand corner. You can go to your picture. So if you downloaded any from the internet that you like, you can simply add it through there by clicking on here and opening it or whichever. Now, you can go to Bluetooth. Of course, you can configure network, notifications. You can turn off which apps give you notifications or not. Multitasking. I mean, this is your typical GNOME settings panel. So you have that. Now, let's go back to the application launcher. So files, we'll go down to files. You use your arrow keys, or you can click on it with your mouse. As you can see, here's for your users. So let's go to files. Files, you have your standard files, which is version 42.2 here, which is your typical file manager. Once again, to close Windows, because it does not have an X, you click on you see how it became the floating Windows, the active one now. You hit the mod key, shift, and Q, quits the window. See, there's no bindings here, and so we hit mod shift Q, and it closes it back out. Now, back to the applications menu again, the app launcher. For additional drivers, for those of you guys that have like NVIDIA cards, Wi-Fi cards, whichever that are installed, if you click on here, this should open up your additional driver software, which is your standard GNOME thing, which is going to download any non-proprietary drivers that are available out there. And there are none because my equipment doesn't detect any of my hardware requires any of them, because I'm using an AMD GPU and I do not have any Wi-Fi card in. So we're going to go ahead and close out of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Regolith look function that they built in, which is your overall customizer. So what you would type is Regolith, REGOLITH -look. And now to see, because we've already installed it, so now if we want to see which ones are available to us, we type in list. And this gives you the list of which ones are available, which is IU, IU Dark, IU Mirage, Black Hole Default, Dracula, Grovebox, IDE, i3 Default, Lascaille, Neville, Nord, and Solarized Dark. Now, those are the ones that are available. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sorry, 12 versions, not 10 like I thought. Between 6 and 10, it's actually 12. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, to change it, like right now, as you can see at the top, it was the default SH. If you look at the top, executing look loader, because I did refresh, which is to find out which one you're on. You type Regolith look refresh to find out which one you're on or which one you have running right now. And so we're running the default one. So let's say we're going to change it to Groovebox or Grovebox, whatever you call it. Anyhow, so what you would type is Regolith -look. And then you type set. So you have refresh, list, and set. This is telling it to set this global theme. Okay. So you type set and then Grov, Gruvbox, Grovebox. And you hit enter. And it's executing. See, it changed the thing. Now when we go, if you look at the title bar, see how it's at the top? It is moved at the top. The bar is moved at the top. It's got the Grove colors, the Grovebox colors. So there's that. And a lot of people are see, it even set the Grove wallpaper. A lot of people, for some reason, they really are into the Grove box. I actually am not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the up arrow, which will just basically give me the same thing again of what my last command I typed in, and then I'm gonna do. Let's take a look at Nord set, and we're gonna set Nord. We're gonna hit enter, and bam, just like that, it put the bar down at the bottom, and it gave us all the Nord coloring theme and wallpaper. See, you can change the wallpaper as well. So let's go back to 1, and let's try just one more. Let's take a look at Solarized. Why not? Let's try Solarized. And so we're going to go ahead and do Solarized. So here we go. And there is Solarized. Now let's go to Windows 2. See, there's our background for Solarized, which is very nice. There you guys go. That's a look at Ubuntu-based Regolith 2.0, which is a very nice i3 fully set up and customized out of the box window manager experience. It doesn't come with very many apps at all installed. So as per everything else that you would want to install for your everyday daily use, whatever that is that you guys use, you have to add it through the software center, which is obviously the Ubuntu Snap Store. So you're installing a bunch of snaps. Other than that, I mean, really, it's just that's what a window manager is for the most part. It's the same way with all the other i3 derivatives that are out there on different distros. They don't come with a lot of things installed. That's the purpose of using window managers, because they're minimalistic by design. They're meant for you to set them up and customize them 100% to what your workflow is. If your workflow is content creation, then of course you're going to want to install your Kdenlive, your OBS, all those things. If you're a game developer, then you're going to install Genie or whatever else it is that you guys use out there for that. I'm not a game developer, so I have no idea. But the applications that are available out there are what you're going to want to install through your package manager. You'll access them through either Rofi like we do here. Remember the Windows space key? Well, sorry, the Windows space key brings up the Rofi right here, right? Also, there's another one out there called dmenu, which just comes across the top of your your desktop, which is much like a bar. It's very nice as well. That's another very commonly used one. There's different application launchers you can use out there. If you've really been interested in trying a window manager, give this one a try for sure. Guys, please like, comment, and share. Make sure you smash that like button. It helps me. It helps me rise to the ranks in the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you could please visit us at our social media platforms and follow us there as well. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So we're over at the Patreon. .com. If you guys could find us there, the Linux Tube over there, and support this channel if you believe in what we're doing. Also, you can visit us at on our Facebook group, the Linux Community Reloaded. That's where we're at. Spend most of our time when we're not, behind the camera here. So, anyhow, please do what you can to help us. You guys continue doing what you do and having a great day, and keep on Linuxing. Thank you so much.